La 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 la. La 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 la. Now, I got that goddamn song in my head.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
NFL question. Oh, and by the way, I might try and watch the championship games tomorrow because for $7.99 or $8.99, I can go onto the NFL streaming thing and pay for it and watch it.
It's going to be. It should be two very good games,
and that'll also give me because it's for live for 50 days. I'll be able to watch the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl,
yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you which game might be better, but looking at them, I thought they might both be good games. So I might.
They should both be good games, especially the Cincinnati-Kansas City game.
And here's a question for you.
Okay.
How you see in the UK and in a lot of leagues, you have a league tier system, don't you? So you start at the very top, well, you start at the very bottom, to be perfectly honest with you, and then you get to the very top. Yeah. And in a lot of the English Football League, as well as the Rugby Union League, many other leagues, and I'm sure it's the same in America, you basically win your league, which is below the leagues that is above, and then you will progress into that league. Right. Well, the NFL doesn't work like that, does it? So how do you become a football team in the NFL? Do you have to buy a franchise? Do they
have to have expand? A lot of fucking money?
Well, yeah, put that aside. Okay. But do you base
that's job one right there?
Right, job one, having a lot of money, but then do you then just say, okay, I've got a team in Utah because has Utah got a team? No. So
Utah will never have a team.
Well, okay, but there you go.
Okay.
If Canada said
that they may have a football team.
Yeah, someday. Assuming they have a football team, or let's say Canada, close to the border, a city near to the border, said, can we join the NFL? Do they just apply and then get rejected, or they agree to let them in if they can hit all of these conditions? I assume there's lots of conditions that they have to go.
Oh, so many.
And by the way, I might send you a link. They showed a video. It's not the best time-lapse video I've seen of a process, but they show the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium being transformed from the football pitch to the American football pitch when they, when they transform into. I tell you what,
is the whole real
pitch.
Grass?
No. And the whole pitch just disappears.
Really?
And they change all of the sides and stuff. I'll see if I can send you the link. It was really interesting. I'm not a Tottenham Hotspurs fan because I'm an Arsenal fan, and they're like arch enemies. But
you shouldn't follow the assholes.
It's
Arsenal.
Yes,
you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arsenal. There was a comedian back in the 70s that used to go that. He'd go Arsenal.
Wasn't a fan.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I'll perhaps send you the link. But it was quite interesting. I didn't know that the stadium almost, there was one pitch almost disappears under one end. Really interesting. Anyway,
well, because it's
to my question. Back to my question.
Oh, okay.
Back to my question. Yeah, because you know what we like.
Don't distract me.
That's it.
Keep me on point. That's what you have to do here.
So, do you know whether they, just apply and then, okay, we'll let you in as long as you hit all of these recommendations and requirements and all of this stuff, or I was just it just suddenly hit me because of the team that you've got on that you're wearing is why I asked the question. Could they? I know you've got Washington. What do they call them? They're not Redskins anymore, are they? Commanders.
Yeah.
If Washington, whatever team that is that you're wearing, if they decided, well, we'd like to get into the NFL as well. Could they join, either the NFC or is it NFC or
NFC
AFC?
and AFC?
Yeah.
It's two conferences, the AFC and the NFC.
Yeah. I remember that because then obviously that's why we've got these championship games and then the big one. But if they had enough money and enough, I know they don't like having two teams in a close vicinity.
Los Angeles. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah. Yes. I just wondered
how
they
even play in the same damn stadium.
Yeah, I just wondered how they'd join.
Instead of going from the bottom up with the NFL, it's like you have to go from the top down. So all 32 owners.
Yeah.
And the league itself have to agree that there's going to be an expansion.
Right.
And currently there are 4 teams in each division. So there's 4 divisions in each conference.
Yep.
With 16 teams in total in each conference. So 4
Yep.
teams in each division.
Yep.
So in order,
Ah,
you can't just say, I want to have one more team.
No.
It would have to be done.
Well, they could,
groups.
because they never always used to be even, did they?
No, a lot of time, for a long time, there was like 4 in some and 5 in another.
Yeah.
And the problem with that isn't so much that it dilutes the amount of talent that's in the league, because there's so many good American football players out there. And some of these spring leagues have shown that. Some of these guys that played in the spring leagues have gone to the NFL. You would almost have to put in either 2, 4, or 8 teams.
Yeah.
Preferably 8, so that you could add one more team for each division.
Because if you get one of the leagues that has, let's say, an extra team, or two of the leagues in opposition to each other have an extra team in it, I would presume that then makes it harder for them to then get into a position to get into the playoffs and win the league. So they're going to be against it unless everybody has to have an extra team in their league, I would have thought. So
yeah, pretty much. Because for the teams, let's say that they added 2 teams, 1 for each conference.
Yeah.
That would mean one of the divisions in each conference would have an extra team.
Yeah.
And that division, it would be harder for the teams in that division to make the playoffs, because there's more teams vying for that one playoff spot for that division.
Although
equally, get in with wild card.
Oh no, it doesn't play against them, because they don't get any more games against them, do they? They'd still have to be playing the same. Well, no, they'd be playing the same number of games. They'd be playing more games, though, wouldn't they, in those leagues? Because
no.
Do they always play each other in each of their leagues?
The way it works in each division, you play the other 3 teams home and away.
Yeah.
So that's, of the 17 games now that you play for the season, 6 of those games are against division opponents.
Yeah.
And then typically there's 4 other games that are against another division, some home, some away. The AFC North, besides playing each other 3 times, would also play the NFC South.
Yeah.
Not twice, but just once.
But those extra games, and they will be fixed, but they're not like always going to be playing someone in a different league every year. They could be playing.
That changes every year.
Yeah.
So the next year, the AFC
it's
North
funny.
would play
I know they're
the
not.
AFC
I know they're
West.
not. I know they're not, because they go to their points, but it's almost like a friendly. We're playing so and so this year. No, we're not going to be playing them again for another 3 years, for example. But yeah.
But not always. Like, for example, the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, because of how the games have all worked out. So of the 17 games that you play, 6 are against your division opponents, 4 are against another division. So there's 10 games, which leaves 7 games to be played randomly. And the NFL has this, as far as I know, and I could be wrong about this, the NFL has this system worked out where they take strong teams that played well the year before and pit them against strong teams that played, also played the year before.
Yeah.
So, and then the weaker teams would play somewhat weaker teams for those other 7 games, so that everyone's schedule, the number of wins and losses can get boosted up.
Yeah.
So,
because it's been quite close, I always find it interesting towards the end of the season, and this is my complete and utter warped sense of fairness. Whenever I see 2 teams that are playing and they've got unmatched records, one's 7-8 and the other one's 8-7, or I always think, well, I'd like that team to win, because then they'd both be 8-8.
Yeah. And it can become a nightmare, actually, for the NFL because they have to come up with like all kinds of weird tiebreakers within a division. Because, I mean, if you have two teams in the same division that are both 9-7 or 9-8 this year now, then how do you decide which team is the division champion? Is well, you first go by, well, how many division games did they win?
Yes.
So if one team won 5 or 4 division games and the other one won 5, you know, blah, and so on and so forth.
I understand that. Yeah.
And then it goes on strength of schedule. And, you know, I mean, it's this whole Einsteinian math thing that, you know, that they've worked out over the years.
Cool.
So, anyway. But I mean, that's what would have to happen at this point with the way that they have the NFL kind of split up with these different divisions. They would either have to come up with a new division for each conference and then resplit the teams again, which they don't want to do because some of these teams have developed rivalries over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens?
You don't want to lose that.
No, absolutely. So what happens, Guy, if a team fails?
What do you mean if they fail?
Well, it goes under.
It can't.
What do you mean it can't?
It absolutely cannot. If for some reason an owner of a team was suddenly financially not solvent.
Okay, so what I'm hearing there straight away is there'd be so many other options for the league or for somebody who would want to own a football team that would jump in and take ownership. It's an elite exclusive club. Yeah.
So, you know, right now, talking about the Washington Redskins. Sorry, not the Washington Redskins.
Commanders.
Edit point, because you can't say that anymore because it's insulting. The Washington Commanders.
Yep.
And for anyone who's offended by what, and this is all going to go out on the after show.
Just go on. Just go on.
Okay. It wasn't intentional. He's in a lot of trouble right now, not financially that I know of.
Yeah.
But because there's been a series of emails that have been released that have been misogynistic and racist and a bunch of other things. And quite frankly, he's kind of an asshole. So with all of this going on, and that's not to say that the other owners aren't equally as bad.
No, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of that going on.
Okay, but Brian Flores, that's not a conversation I wanted to have anyway. So let's move on from that. I got the point. It's an exclusive club,
so
and
the league would basically take over a team.
Yeah.
If the owner suddenly became insolvent.
Yeah.
And somebody else would come in and buy the assets of that team.
They'd have a buyer pretty quick. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. So the NFL isn't going anywhere. I don't know if I told you this, February 19th, which is a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Audi Field, which is here in DC, to see the first game this year for the DC Defenders of the XFL. So I'm going to a football game on Sunday the 19th at 8 p.m.
Enjoy.
I'm very excited.
Excellent.
And I already have, I'm not wearing it. I already have a shirt and a hat for the DC Defenders because, you know, you got to be.
Well, make sure you get on dance cam.
Right.
Make sure you get on dance cam.
I don't know quite how that works. I don't think you can reserve dance cam.
No. But you've got to dance well enough for them to put the camera on you.
For them to say, look at that big asshole there.
Yeah, precisely.
Stupid crap.
Yeah.
Put the camera on him. He's as bad as Dan Snyder. Quick.
Anyway.
Get the camera on him.
Anyway, Guy, I think we should.
Let's play